So friends, there are so many business transactions as I told you, and something somewhere happened on daily basis. So here is a case. Is ITC available to a person who is already in business? He is a businessman, but become liable to register during financial year. This is the case where person crosses the threshold limit of 20 lakh rupees in a financial year, and as he has crossed the limit of 20 lakh rupees, now GST is mandatory for him. GST number is to be obtained. So if that is the case, is there any implication from ITC point of view? Means if he is eligible for ITC, because if and one day his turnover increases or crosses the limit of 20 lakh rupees, and on one day before that particular date he is having a raw material worth rupees 10 lakh rupees on which he has paid GST at the rate of 18%. So let's take it by example. If today is 16th of June 2024 and this is the date when turnover sale crosses rupees 20 lakh. So on this date he start charging GST. This date or 17th of June onwards he will start charging GST because now GST is applicable. His turnover is more than 20 lakh rupees. Though he has the option to apply for GST within 30 days from the date of 16th of June. Within 30 days from this date he is supposed to apply for GST number. But on this date, if he has stock of 10 lakh rupees on which he has paid GST for calculation purposes 10%, that is 1 lakh rupees, he has already paid to his supplier, and from this date he is supposed to charge GST. His liability will come on his outward supply. Can he use this 1 lakh rupees he has already paid to through his supplier against his outward liability? Question is yes. If any person already in business and his turnover crosses the threshold limit during financial year, if obtained registration within 30 days, here condition is within 30 days. So means if he wants benefit of this 1 lakh rupees ITC which he has already paid to government through his supplier, and he wants this 1 lakh rupees benefit, he has to apply within 30 days GST number. Otherwise this benefit will not be available to him. He becomes liable, is entitled to ITC. He is entitled to ITC subject to conditions as mentioned in section 16. So section 16's condition must be there to avail ITC. So basically, as I told you, whenever I am going for ITC benefit, check if my output, my material which I am going to sell, my final product which I am going to sell, is GST applicable on that? Maybe 5%, maybe 3%. If that is the case, ITC is available. Then check all conditions mentioned in section 16. I have documents with me. The transaction is depicted in GST 2A 2B. My supplier has paid tax to the government. I have filed my returns and I have physical possession of goods and I consumed it. If all these conditions are fulfilled and your final product is subject to GST, ITC is available to you and you can go for ITC benefit. Same condition will applicable here also when you are first time coming into GST purview. And apart from that, for this type of business where during financial year he has crossed the limit, he is supposed to declare his goods of rupees 10 lakh, what are there in his stock, to the government, means to the GST department, in form GST ITC 01. So in this form, he has to declare his stock of 10 lakh rupees so that government can make out how much stock was there with him, and he has applied for GST registration within 30 days. So fulfilling these two conditions, he will be able to avail ITC of 1 lakh rupees on the stock he is already having. Though before this date he was not under GST, still benefit is available provided he fulfill the conditions. So here 1 lakh rupees important for me as a businessman, because it's clear-cut cash which I have already paid, tax which I have already paid. I can adjust this lakh rupees against my outward liability. So if after this date I start selling my goods, and by 31st March 2025 I have total liability of 5 lakh rupees of GST on my sale, so this 5 lakh rupees I will adjust this 1 lakh rupees first, and balance 4 lakh rupees I will pay to the government on my value addition. So straightway I am saving 1 lakh rupees over here. And if I do not go for registration within 30 days, this will be a cost for me and my profit will be less by this 1 lakh rupees. So that is the importance of ITC. So in each and every business transaction, I have to understand the business transaction, I have to understand the provisions of section 16 and section 17, and can save lakhs and lakhs of rupees. Because this 1 lakh rupees on one side saving my working capital and also saving my 10 to 12% interest on working capital. It has cumulative effects. Further friends, another case in business, it says if a person having turnover less than 20 lakh rupees, fine, or 40 lakh rupees as the case may be. This 40 lakh rupees case we have already discussed. Obtain registration voluntarily means a person whose turnover is not 20 lakh rupees or whose turnover is not 40 lakh rupees. So he doesn't have any requirement of GST number, but still he feels so that he should be a GST registered person, and he obtained registration. Then will he be entitled for ITC of goods he is having in stock? Answer is yes, he can avail the benefit of ITC if he go for GST registration voluntarily, though law doesn't say so, and he doesn't need any number because his turnover is less than 20 lakh rupees or 40 lakh rupees, but still, so it means if a person obtain registration number under GST voluntarily, all GST provision will be applicable on him, and similarly ITC is also available if he has stock in his godown. He can avail ITC. Similarly friends, if a composite dealer, a small dealer having turnover up to 1.5 crore if he is a trader, and if he is service provider up to 50 lakh rupees under section 10 of CGST Act. This is a benefit available for small businessmen because their compliances are less in this section. So here case is if a composite dealer whose turnover is less than 1.5 or 50 lakh rupees as if he is a service provider and he crosses the limit, he crosses this limit of 1.5 or 50 lakh during the year because his business has gone further. So the date on which he crosses this limit, he must be having some stock in his warehouse and he has paid taxes on that. It is similar to the previous case. If ITC is available, answer is yes. He can avail ITC subject to the conditions as laid down in section 16. ITC is available to him. So natural procedure is, if you are going for GST registration, earlier you were not having, but you are a businessman of last 10 years or 15 years, or you were a composite dealer, now you are going for a regular dealer, or you have obtained registration voluntarily, you were in businessman and having business for so many years, now you want GST number. So whatever stock you will be having on that particular date and whatever tax you have already paid to your supplier, that tax amount is available to you as ITC subject to the conditions as I told you, you can avail ITC. So that much amount will be a saving for you, it will increase your profit by that amount. So friends, I mentioned you that for ITC purpose, your final product, means the product you are selling in the market, must be subject to GST. So there may be case when you are dealing with exempted goods only. As I told you that in case of medical services by hospital, by education services by schools and colleges, by electricity generation, by agriculture produce, all these items, all these products or goods or services are not subject to GST. If they are exempted, then your inputs will be subject to your cost only and no ITC is available. So whatever plant and machinery you have commissioned for generation of electricity, you will not get any ITC. Your hospitals, whatever equipments you have installed, whatever hospital facility you have created, maybe indoor or outdoor, ITC is not available. So if because of government rulings, because it happens so many times that your exempted supplies becomes taxable, government issued a notification one day that this product which is exempted from GST till date will be taxed from this particular date, then what? Any product can be taxable at any point of time, any taxable item can be exempted from GST any point of time. During any financial year, ITC on the stock kept for that particular date. Answer is yes. Whenever any product becomes taxable, whenever any business becomes taxable, whatever stock they are having in their books of accounts or record or warehouse, whatever amount of tax they have already paid to their supplier, that tax amount is available to them as ITC. It's a big saving for them, big saving for the business. So friends, we have seen that whatever inputs I am procuring for my business purposes, not personal purposes, because personal consumption you cannot take ITC benefits. It is only for business purposes. So for business purposes, whatever items I have procured, I have paid taxes. That taxes are available to me to set off against my output liability. And question comes, is there any time limit? Is there any time limit to avail the benefit of ITC? Friends, here two terms are very important. One is availment of ITC, Another is utilization of ITC. Availment of ITC and utilization of ITC. So here it says in normal circumstances, ITC on invoices receiving during financial year can be availed up to the date of filing monthly returns for the month of September next year. From budget 2022, it is 30th of November next year. As I told you earlier, that if we are in financial year 2024-25, if we are into the financial year 2024-25, it means we are talking about 1st April 2024 to 31st March 2025, 12 months. This is our financial year, current financial year, right? So from 1st April 2024 till 31st March 2025, whatever purchases I have made for my business purposes, whatever inputs I have purchased for my business purposes, whatever services I have availed for my business purposes, I am eligible for ITC on the taxes paid, subject to the conditions mentioned in section 16 and restrictions in section 17, block credits, right? So I am available and I will avail ITC. Further, if my own services or my own products are taxable under GST, if my product is exempted from GST, I am not, this benefit is not available to me. But if my own product or own service is exempted from GST, I will not be able to avail ITC, but if it is taxable, I will avail ITC benefits. So during this period, whatever procurements I have done, I will claim its benefit. Means I will avail this benefit. What is the procedure of availing this benefit? Availing of benefit means I am claiming this on record with the government that I have procured this much of inputs and ITCs of mine. So there is a procedure for that, and it will be discussed when we will talk about return filing, because when monthly returns are filed, I claim my ITC. I claim that amount which I have procured during that particular month, because returns are filed monthly or quarterly also. But in normal circumstances, it is monthly returns. So we will talk about all these returns. So during month time, I claim my ITC. That claim of ITC is availment of ITC. So is there any time period to avail my ITC, or is there any time to utilize my ITC? Availment, I told you, during month return, I claim that this much of procurement I have done during this particular month, and on this procurement, I have paid this much of tax. So it is my claim. I will intimate to the government through one return which is known as GSTR 3B. In GSTR 3B, which is monthly return, I will claim that this much of is my ITC and that is my availment. So I have availed it, and how I will use it. So friends, in same return, when I will set off this availment against my outward liability, means when I am selling my product, I am charging tax to my customer. That amount which I have charged to my customer, I am supposed to pay to the government. So when I am paying to the government, I am taking this benefit of availment, and balance, if any, I am paying in cash. So that is my utilization. That is my utilization. So first question is here, is there any time for availment of ITC? And means first part. So law says, yes, if you want to claim your ITC, it must be claimed by 30th of November of the next month. So here in financial year 24-25, during this period, whatever procurement I have done of raw material, of capital goods or input services, or my inputs, I have to avail ITC, claim ITC by 30th November 2025. 30th of November 2025. If I missed out any document, any invoice, any particular procurement, and I have not claimed it by 30th November 2025, it will be gone forever. It will be gone forever. So friends, in GST, for availment of ITC, there is a time limit of 30th November. It was introduced by notification number 18 by 2022, and prior to that, this 30th November was 30th September. Return for the month of September next year. So in this, before amendment, the provision of filing of return for the month of September of the next year. But after amendment, it is date, that is 30th of September of the next year. There is a difference. When we will deal in returns, you will understand it in better way. So for availment of ITC, there is a time limit, but for utilization of ITC, there is no time limit. There is no time limit to utilize this tax. You can utilize any time in future. Condition is you must first avail it. It must be claimed by you in your returns. And if you have claimed it, then you can utilize it any time. Because it happens so many times that you have procured goods, but because of some market conditions, your sale is zero. Sale is nil. We have seen it in COVID time. Because COVID was declared in March 2020. And people were not aware of that there will be Janta lockdown. And they procured goods as usual. So after March 2020, there was no sale, there was no production, but material was there, inputs were there. So it took almost 3 years to normalize the things. So later on, people start utilizing this ITC.